It's Valentine! All right, we ready for this?
Yeah, we ready.
Yeah, how we doing, boys?
We're doing good. The McKeith and Valentine Show.
Welcome to the McKeith and Valentine Show. Yeah, I'm your host, McKeith and Valentine, self-explanatory. Joined here by Mr. Big Red, Jacob Specht himself. Woo! Woo! We got Ashton Eisel.
What's up? We're good here.
Yeah, and Blake McCoy.
How are we?
Doing amazing. Cool. Well, I'm super excited for this. I wanted to get these 3 stud rookies from the Dynasty Office. We got 2 from Alpha, 1 from Liberty. It's absolutely a pleasure to be in y'all's presence today.
Yeah, it's weird to hear that we're Alpha and Liberty.
Yeah, I know. How is that? Because you guys were all just Dynasty before. I mean, are you feeling like competitiveness? You just want to like jump this guy, just freaking beat the crap out of him?
He's definitely feeling competitive, calling us out all the time, huh?
Yeah, I mean, competitiveness breeds productiveness. So
Yeah.
Well,
you guys were all rookies this last year. You all had amazing summers. Absolutely crushed it. It ended up being top office, and I think a large contributor to being top office was the powerhouse of rookies that you guys brought out. And so going into your second year, we just have a ton of questions. Want to get to know you guys, your story, kind of where you're at and where your mind's at for coming into this next year. But maybe just a brief introduction. I'll pass the little red dish microphone around. I have all of you guys introduce yourselves, how you got into the job, little brief background, how you did, and what you're planning on doing this next year.
Okay. So, basically, I got into the job. I met one of my managers now. I met Haladar. I met him in Gainesville one night after one of the football games. And he was just like, dude, you're super buff. Like, you got to come out here. Like, you look so good. And me and him just got, like, instantly along after that. And he has, like, a very bright, outgoing personality. Oh, yeah. So it was like I just jumped onto that. And then, so a couple months later, like, I had hurt my leg. And I was, like, all injured. And I was laying in bed, like, just didn't know what to do. And I was actually going to watch one of my buddies' football games. And he called me on the phone, and he was like, dude, you got to come out, and, like, what are you up to? And I told him everything, what happened. And I was in a sales job working at AT&T, so I was like, I definitely got to, take this opportunity. Because he was like, you're going to stay in the Airbnb. You can make this amount of money. You sound really good. And then I talked to Mr. Valentine, your uncle, and he was like, yeah, I think you could, really do this. And he said a certain number, and I was like, dang, I really got to get out of here. And it was really good because it ended up being really good for me, and it brought me out of a place that I was not having fun in. I was all injured up, and it was not good.
Yeah,
but
just laying in a bed all crippled and stuff.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound too good.
It's pretty depressing, actually. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten like super injured before, but yeah, literally laying in a bed, just depressing, and you can't do anything fun at all ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then after that, just came right out here and met a bunch of new friends and a whole good group of guys, and it brought my spirit way up, and then just went out and sold, and it was a great summer. Met great people, had the best managers. It was a blessing from God, honestly. It felt like God was asking me to bring me out here, and it was just the next step in what I'm going to do in my life.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, met great people, had a great summer, and I can't wait to kill it next year. Like, I'm so excited. The off season, you have a great year, and then you get into the off season, and then you're just waiting and building stuff up for the next season, and already looking to have a crazy year next year. And everybody's so competitive, so it's looking awesome.
Yeah, Big Red right here, you're number 3 rookie in the whole company, and so just first year out, and you were only out there for a fraction of the time that the other 2 guys in front of you were. And so I think if you had a whole summer, you probably would have passed both of them up.
I know you were like, you came up, the first time you came to the office, you were like, hey, number 1 rookie's coming on a pod with me. and when Hala brought me out, like, the whole story was like, you got to be number 1, and he was going for number 1 too.
Yeah.
So we both were like gonna take pictures together, and that was the whole thing and the whole plan. And I just came a little shy, but it was still awesome. The whole adventure was awesome. It was an adventure for sure.
Well, you freaking crushed it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Well, I'm gonna pass it on to Ashton. Pass it to me. Very similar to his story.
Oh, yeah, brought him on
absolutely. So, yeah, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a big injury in my life, but just kind of pushing through high school. I was gonna go do lineman school. I was gonna go do blue collar work, and didn't really know what direction I wanted to do. I knew college really wasn't a route for me. I didn't like being in school. It could never get me to really pay attention in that sense. And so, yeah, it was one random night.
He was like, we got this opportunity to go travel the country and make a lot of money, and I was essentially like, where do I sign? You know? Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's just in that sense of getting out of my hometown, putting yourself in a new position to meet new people and learn a lot of new skills was something that, like he said, is going to further more to our future and push us farther. Yeah, met a lot of great guys, made some good money, and I think a big thing in our generation of the people around us is people don't know how to communicate. People don't want to call somebody on the phone to just order a pizza or whatever it is. They're just scared to do something like that. Yeah. And this job teaches you, like, I'll talk to anybody now because I've walked up to so many different doors that I could feel like I can just talk to whoever's in front of me, really have a conversation with them. So I think, like, really moving forward, like you said, I'm excited. We're going to have a big year. And, yeah, I owe it to a lot of this guy for sure. I think him and I more so bouncing off of each other's energy all year, and if one of us was kind of subsiding a little bit, the other one was pushing, and then it makes you want to push, and then it's just kind of that back and forth down or more subject to continue to grow and make more money and succeed. So I think that's kind of what we did. He got number 3, I got number 4. Fell a little bit short, but yeah, it was a good year. We didn't have a lot of time when we first came out, but we just kind of hit the ground running and pushed forward, and now here we are going in our next year. I think, yeah, the Alpha and the Liberty split's gonna be pretty interesting, but it'll be a good dynamic, definitely, because we're all gonna be pushing towards the same thing. And like I said, competitiveness creates that production. So that's absolutely. But that's enough from me. I'll hand it to the kid.
Yeah, the kid here. Blake McCoy, and I mean, so I'm a year older than these guys, so they graduated and then came right out and did this, and kind of, I mean, it's basically the same thing for me. I graduated and just ended up going to a small community college around here, Santa Fe, and I was there. It was really my parents kind of wanted me to go to school. I never really was big into it, and a few of my buddies had did this the year prior, and so, they came back, they kind of talk here and they're like, oh, you'd be good, you should come out. Just kind of like, whatever. It took time to get me to really, commit to something. And then I eventually went on a blitz, which is like, we'll do a little week, we'll go to a city, get an Airbnb, stay there, and work. And it's a good opportunity for rookies to kind of see what it's like. And I went with our manager, Kyle, and we went out there and we got yelled at and just kicked in the teeth all day long. It was like it couldn't get any worse. And then I went out with Sam next day. We had an amazing day, nicest people ever. So I got to see both sides of it, which was pretty interesting. And after that, I was really like, yeah, like I'm kind of in, because it was either, okay, we can go, take a leap, go do something that's different. Worst case scenario, you don't like it, you go home, or you make some money and you end up enjoying it. Or we could sit at this warehouse job we're working at, keep going to school for the next 4 years, just to be in the same position as we were 4 years ago. So I was kind of like, well, might as well. And safe to say, made the better decision. But, I mean, that's really it. Yeah, I'm excited for this year, though. It's going to be a big year. It's fun. Competition, I think, is the best thing. It's so much fun competing in general. I've always competed my whole life. I think competition is like, there's nothing like it. And whether it's, sports, people with studies and stuff, us with our job now. So, yeah, the Liberty Alpha, dynamic will be fun to see this year. But, yeah. That's it for me.
That's sweet. So is it safe to say that all you guys are happy that you came out and sacrificed the summer to do this job?
Absolutely. I would say that.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually a big thing, because I think that, like, if we would have stayed behind and been stuck doing the same thing, and honestly, we're basically all from, but Ocala for sure, where we're from, no one's doing anything good, really. I mean, there's some of them that go out and have a little landscaping business, or they do something small, but a lot of them are just partying and doing the wrong thing. So that really just brings you downhill. And this just brought you uphill. It ascended us, bro. Yeah. It really did.
Downhill bad, uphill good.
Yeah. You're just always constantly doing, the right thing, and your mind's focused on the right thing. It changes the way you think. It really does, because you're gone away from your family. It matures you. Like, that little amount of time that you have to make that money, you really take every day. Mm-hmm. Like, you take advantage of each day, because you don't have the opportunity all the time. You know what I mean? And you have 3 or 4 months to go make as much money as you can. So you really, really taken, like, every day is just like, I don't know, a blessing basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What is one lesson that has just been so impactful for you, indispensable, that you're so grateful that you've learned during this experience? Yeah.
I think every single no that you get in life, every single like downfall that you think you're going through is closer to a yes, you're closer to a win. So every time that you get a no or you get a bad experience, you're closer to that next step of the win. And that goes even beyond knocking doors. You know what I mean? That goes in so many different things in life of what you're trying to chase and what you're trying to accomplish. Is every time you fail, you're closer to the win. So I think that's the main thing. Yeah. Who else has got some input?
Got one. You kind of touched on it earlier, the whole communication aspect. With nowadays, no one wants to go face-to-face or even get on the phone with someone and talk. And I think this job, it really, like, will even, we have plenty of people that we know who've done this beforehand where they're, like, the most introverted person ever. And it'll completely shape their personality, which I've always been a pretty outgoing person. And even me, like, I just feel like there's not a world where I wouldn't be, like, oh, I'll go out and talk to them for whatever it is, whether it's, job opportunity or just, needing to go talk to somebody. Communication skills and this job, especially talking to all the strangers you talk to, I mean, it makes communication in general just way easier. Yeah. So, yeah. Jacob, you got anything?
Yeah, I know I'm going to think of something different later, but I think that this really gave me, like, the confidence in myself to complete any goal that I can do. Like, because I set a goal in mind and I really, like, went at it full force, and it's like, it's this close. But either way, like, I'm still very satisfied with where I got because I put all my effort into it. So I think that this was just a good opportunity to, like, give me something to put all my effort into and to see how much I could do when you put all your effort into it. And, it's very rewarding. So I think that if, like, small goal setting is really big, but just having an ultimate goal and, having small goals every day or every week to get to that goal, I don't know, the goal aspect and just having big goals, it just really helped me. So, yeah, completing goals, that'd be one of mine.
Yeah, taking a step back and just, like, the big perspective of where we're at right now in the world and society, like, AI is booming. It's like so many people are worried that they're going to lose their jobs, that they're going to get replaced by technology and stuff. Like, the things that you guys touched on, the communication skills, the being able to reach goals and hit it, to overcome the obstacles that happen, getting knocked down and having to get back up. Those are things that you are not, that AI frankly won't be able to replace, okay? It's being able to talk with people, going out there, making stuff happen, committing to something and getting it done. Like, that is like the entrepreneur foundation right there. And that's why you see all these billionaire entrepreneurs, Warren Buffett, Bezos, Bill Gates, like all these guys, like they started with direct sales, and that's exactly what we're learning right now. And so, I mean, all of us are going to go on to do bigger and better things. This is just like the foundation, the base step, but we're having a heck of a lot of fun while we're at it at the same time. I wanted to touch on what are some of the highlights that you guys had from the summer? What are some crazy stuff that happened? Do you have any clownery, hooliganery that was happening that you just gotta, like, I gotta pick fun at this thing that happened? I can't believe this happened with this customer, this person in our office. Like, what was kind of the culture dynamic? What made the summer so much fun for you guys?
Yeah, really just meeting all the different people for me, like, just so much different personalities. I love different personalities. Like, it's just refreshing having a bunch of different personalities coming in. It's really cool. And then, like, becoming friends with them and pushing each other and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know, everybody really got along really well. And you said it was like, what was the question again?
Oh, just like any funny, crazy thing that has been happening. Like, what made the job so enjoyable?
I think all the weekends, like, were really cool. Like, we always did something fun on the weekend. We really got, so, like, we have, like, addictive personalities, but, like, anything that we go and do, we fall in love with. So we started all playing, like, he plays golf. He got us into golf. Like, we all, like, fell in love with golf, all bought bags, all bought, all the golf stuff, and we started golfing every weekend. And there was just little things that we kept falling into and that we all were doing together because we enjoyed it, and we just liked doing stuff together. We loved each other. So it was a cool thing. Like, we all, like, really cared about each other, and we, wanted to see each other really do good. So, and then we ended up falling in all these different hobbies, like golfing every weekend, and then we were cliff jumping. That was, like, kind of something that the Utah boys like to do. So we like to do that, and then we were doing football on the beach and stuff. We would just do something every weekend, and then, like, bowling. stuff like that. So yeah, good stuff to bring everybody together, and everybody liked doing it. So because we all had a good culture.
Yeah, kind of like work hard, play hard culture at its finest. And you said you got it recruited, calling it basically like a fraternity, but for making money, where you come out with more money rather than losing money.
And it really was, like, especially with the amount of guys that we had. And it was surprising to have that many guys and have that many quality good guys. Yeah, I mean, having all those people, it was different. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Sweet. Absolutely, yeah. You meet a lot of different people, whether it's indoors or in our office. Absolutely. There's people. A lot of us are from Florida. Some people from Utah, North Carolina. Like, people all around. We all come together, and we're all in this big place, and we all have this one goal that we really want to accomplish. And in that sense, it creates a lot of great friendships between us, for sure. But I think as far as, like, more so answering your question of something like crazy that happened on the doors, I mean, I wouldn't say there's one thing I could really pinpoint. I've seen a lot of different things, but you never know when somebody opens that door really what you're gonna see. I've seen from the slums all the way to the prestigious houses. And it's just kind of the gamble you take when you knock the door, right? But yeah, there's always that one old guy that's got that 1955 Chevy in his garage, showing it off to you. See that everywhere. Yeah, definitely some cool people, and a lot of people in the office that really bring us together, that produce greatness in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of basically exactly what they said. I mean, I think the biggest thing was everybody had such a similar mindset, similar goal in mind. We were all there for the same reason, and when you put a lot of people together, for the same reason, it kind of just breeds all the, hardworking, all the, fundamental values are a lot easier, because the guy to your left and right is doing it too. And then whenever you're working hard during the week and everyone's doing that, you're going to want to do something on the weekends. So, we, like he said, whether it was cliff jumping, golfing, we even went to a live golf tournament, which was pretty fun. Did that. And then, seeing some of the nightlife in, Cincinnati or wherever we were, it's, just something that, what's the word?
Different atmosphere.
Right. Some different atmosphere than knocking a door every day. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're just knocking and then Sunday you just sit around, look at the ceiling, waiting for something to happen, you're going to get burnt out. So, it's, we're just always trying to do something to, keep us going. But, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to hand it back to Jacob, because it looked like you had some.
Well, the craziest thing that ever happened to me was I took it a little far. I'm very precious with my leads. I love my leads. And I want to knock, because they always said, like, make sure that lead comes out and talk to that lead. So I ended up going into the backyard, because the lady, I knew she was inside. I was knocking her front door and she was not answering. So I walked to the backyard and I knock her back door, and she meets me right there. And she's just standing there right in my face. And I'm like, oh, sorry, man. She goes, I'm about to. She opens the door. She's like, I'm about to shoot you. Who gives you the right to come in my backyard? And she was right. You know what I mean? Like, now that I'm looking back on it, I should not have gone in her backyard, opened her gate. But I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just doing my job. I was so hungry. I was so locked in. Like, I was making sure that this door got knocked. And I wanted to know her price. Like, that's all I wanted to know. So, but yeah, she pulled a gun on me, and I thought I was about to get shot. Like, my heart dropped to my stomach. And she was pointing it at me. She was like, if you don't get out of my property right now, I'm gonna shoot you. She was just crazy lady, man. But it was my fault. Like, I was pretty crazy too. So yeah, that was probably the craziest thing.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's happened to everyone at some point, like either a gun pull or like a dog just sicked on you, starts chasing you. You open a door and this old dude's just got his pecker hanging out in the wind.
Somebody sends a video.
Yeah, you see some of the most scram stuff, all walks of life, and it's just, there's no other experience that can kind of replace that, where you're having these human-to-human interactions. You're seeing them in a very intimate space in their home, where it's like you're kind of sitting on their couch, you're talking with them about the things that are important to them, about really their main source of entertainment and joy, which is their television, and then able to kind of connect with them on a personal level, able to help them out, get a better experience, lower their bill. Right. It's honestly just one of the coolest things ever. Wanted to ask each of you guys, what do you see, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because right now this is like do you see yourself building, growing with this? Do you see yourself kind of managing a team and being able to invite this opportunity to other people as well? Do you see it as just like, I just want to get some quick money right now, work as hard as I can, get some real estate, some investments? Do you want to travel? Like, what does the lifestyle look for you guys? Be able to, I don't know, do stuff in the off season, kind of just get to know you a little bit better. Like, where are each of you guys headed in the near future?
I'm ready. So I think I have a couple more years of this in me, but I do have like very big goals. So but like as far right now, I'm already trying to build a team. I got like 6 or 7 guys right now, and I'm working on a little bit more. Yeah. Oh god. yeah. So I got about 6, 7 guys, just about. No, but literally, and they're all doing pretty good. And I like the training aspect of the job. It is pretty cool to like kind of recreate a salesman out of somebody else and kind of teach them the way to do it as well. And then also see them hit their goal, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm sure that's going to be an awesome ride, and like also just spending the year with them. But I don't know, like with the money that I've already gotten, I've invested a lot of it, and then in the near future I plan to like invest in real estate. But I'm already doing like I want a bunch of different sources of income. So I plan on like probably starting a business with the money that I get and using that to have a business. But I really like right now starting a sales team, and I want to have a team for about a year and see where that takes me. But I'm also doing the day trading and all that good stuff, so we'll see where that goes. We'll see how good that goes. But other than that, yeah. But this definitely gives you the money to be able to do all that kind of thing. And then in the off time, I like to spend my off time kind of relaxing a little bit. But I mean, we all like to do the blitzes and get kind of warm up our sales skills before the season starts. But yeah, you always got to keep yourself refreshed. You can't forget the skill ever. But yeah, as long as you keep going and just keep refreshing yourself, that's always a good thing. So, but yeah, I plan on it in the future just doing this and then eventually moving into something like real estate or something a little bit more high ticket probably, and then just investing the rest of my stuff. So,
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, more so kind of what he said. I think all of our goals here eventually is financial freedom, right? The ability to not have to work, So I think this job specifically is a big stepping stone towards that. We learn a lot of great things, and we get a lot of good capital to be able to invest. Like, we've made investments of the money that we've made this year, and more so into real estate and stuff like that. Just more ways to not be able to work in that sense, and have that money to be able to provide for your family, take care of this, take care of that, without having to do those day-to-day things. So more so as far as my goals, yeah, absolutely, do this job for the next couple of years, build a great team. I think it's an interesting dynamic because like right out of the season and right out of October, it's like now we're in November and December and we're training guys when that was just us like 5 or 6 months ago. And so to be in that position to where now you're trying to train guys and put them in a position to change their lives like we just did is a very, very interesting dynamic. And more so trying to figure that out in the off season of how to really teach these guys to be great people and be great salesmen and great leaders on these doors. Yeah, I think that's more so what we're pushing for right now. But absolutely, yeah. Like Jacob said, we think very alike in the majority of things we do. We want to have different sources of income and different ways that we're making money to eventually lead us to that financial freedom. So I think that's the main thing. But yeah, as far as right now goes, get those guys and build a great team, and that's the headspace that we're in for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of same thing as far as now, near future, before 5 years. Yeah, I'd say, me and Sam obviously have a pretty good opportunity with the guys we have already. But yeah, that, like he was saying, it is interesting how, 6 months ago, you're learning it for yourself, and then all of a sudden, you find yourself teaching other people. But I've talked to Kyle about this a lot, because I've always been, like, my whole life, a big football guy, love sports, super big in football, ask anybody, I could talk on and on about it. And I've always been, like, a big coach guy, kind of, schematic type thing. So this, like, scratches that itch enough. Being able to, teach somebody, almost coach them, see them grow and learn, will definitely be able to scratch that itch enough. Ideally, in 20 years, I want to be retired, financial freedom, and just go coach football. That's all I want to do. Like, that's my goal at the end of the day. But yeah, next 5 years, ideally get as big of a team I can, produce as many, good salesmen. People were making a lot of money for themselves. And changing people's lives is the biggest thing, because I know a ton of people who either don't have a job or like are, you know, looking for a job or earn a job that sucks at the end of the day. And, you know, you tell somebody, you know, if you told somebody, there's some people, dude, you can make 20 grand in 6 months to like sign me up. Where do I go? And, you know, in the big scheme of things, it's like, oh, that might not be a lot. But to them, you know, that could be, you know, life changing. It could be huge. And then, you know, kind of showing other people how far it can really go, I think is the biggest thing. But yeah, 5 years, me and my dad kind of talked about it, to view this job almost as college, almost as, you know, learning, you know, making money for yourself to set you up for the future. And then the networking with like you know, Kyle, you know, Grant, Mark, Jared, Cole, all those guys. I think having people like that in your corner who genuinely just want the best for you are some huge assets to have. So I think, yeah, just networking as much as possible, building, you know, as big a team as possible, and making as much money as possible, obviously, right? So yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
That's sweet. Yeah, there's a couple things you guys touched on, but I don't know another job that you can go and you can do it proficiently, get proficient at it for a couple months, and then in a couple months you're teaching the guys to do exactly what you just learned how to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not based on anything else other than how good you got at it.
Yeah.
How much of a hard worker you are, the time and energy, the dedication that you put into studying the materials. Like, it's a pure meritocracy. It's purely just based off of how much effort, work you put into it. It's not based off of like any bureaucratic, diplomatic, like, hey, I gotta wait my time before I get the, you know, a 5% raise, so I'm making $13.50 instead of $12 an hour. Like,
yeah, I never thought that we would be having a team already. Like, that's one of the biggest things. Like, the fact that we're already recruiting guys, and maybe, you know, in the, you know, if we get a big enough crew, we have to have a team. Like, that's crazy to think about, you know what I mean? And then you're training 10 plus guys, double-digit guys. You know what I mean? And that's a lot different, because you thought you were just coming out here to make, you know, $60,000, and the next thing you know, you're training people how to make $60,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's really cool, because, like, a lot of people, they work their whole lives to get a management job at Publix or something like that. Yeah. And with this, you can get that management job quick, and then also once you get that job, it's great money. So I don't think there's any spot where you can move up that quickly.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I want to ask, what is some advice that you would give to any guy who's like thinking about coming out, who's like a new guy, rookie? What would you tell him, tell yourself, go back to your first couple days, first little bit of doing the job? What advice would you give to a rookie, a newcomer?
I would say, first and foremost, like the biggest thing at the beginning of the summer is that really our managers hounded on us on is you got to create a goal. You got to create a vision, whether it's something that you want money, like a money goal that you want, or like you want to buy something like a car, or like me, I just bought a boat, like whatever it is, something that is going to push you every single day, because that digit of the number of the money that you're going to make is just kind of there in your head, and you're kind of obviously chasing that. But when you're chasing something that you can really put your hands on, that's going to improve your quality of life, I think that's the biggest thing. So when you get into the beginning of the season and you set that goal of that thing that you want, on those days that it's rough and that you don't want to do it and that you want to sit down at that gas station, whatever it is, like you're going to think about that thing and what you're doing with that thing that is going to push you to where you want to go. So like I said, for my example, it was a boat. Like I wanted a boat. That's all I cared about. And so the days that it was rough, like I'm looking at boats. I'm like, I'm going to get up and go knock that next door because I want that boat and I know I'm going to have a lot of fun on that boat. So I think, yeah, the most important thing is setting that goal and really hounding on that goal and focusing on that goal and putting in the necessary works and the necessary steps to get to that goal. Yeah, I would say that's the main thing, because the harder you work, the easier that goal is going to be, right? The necessary steps that you take every single day to get to that goal, you just have to do those things day by day and you'll get there. Yeah. And we're all prime examples of we just did that, you know? So I think that's the main thing for me.
Not easy.
Well, yeah, I would just touch on that, because that's kind of goes to what I said in the beginning. Like, my goal was to have, you know, a car and get, you know, a couple different things, and I would envision that on the bad days and stuff. But the why is really important. Like, Jared and Colt, they all preach, you know, think about your why, because towards the end of the season, like, I stayed when, like, a lot of people left, and I wanted to go home, like, really bad, but I just kept thinking about my why, and a lot of my why was just, like, do this for your future self, kind of like what a lot of other people's why are, you know what I mean? because you just want your future self to not have to work as hard and, have the freedom that, some people have. So yeah, I just wanted to do it for my future self, because now I can, relax a little bit, and it gets a lot of benefits to that. But yeah, I mean, just that was kind of my big thing, was like when the days were really hard and I didn't want to work anymore, I would be like, if I just keep pushing and I get a couple more deals, like it's just going to keep helping my momentum, and then in the future I'm just going to be pleased with myself. I didn't want to be like mad at myself or disappointed because I didn't hit the goal, and it just goes day by day. So in the days, and this is another thing, like you're in your mind, you're going to have times where like they're called 1 seconds, where you're thinking like for a second that you don't want to do this anymore, and like there's just negative little thoughts that come in your brain, and you just gotta, in that 1 second, you just gotta block it out and then think about your why. Like, this is why I'm out here, and this is the reason I came out here and left my home in the first place, and my family, is to change my life for a good reason and really work hard to do that. So yeah, that was a definitely a big thing. Your why, you got to figure out what your why is, and then you'll really work hard. And it'll work you past your limits completely. Like, my legs didn't want to go anymore. I was a foot soldier. They didn't want to go anymore, and they just kept going. Because you get a sale, and then you get a momentum, and then you're like, I got to get another one. Then you got 2, and the next thing you know, you got 4 or 5 by the end of the day, and you're going home smiling. Yeah. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a newcomer, obviously everything they said, setting goals is obviously the biggest one. I mean, that's something I'm going to harp on this year with everyone in our office. I liked what Kyle did last year at the end of the year with the whiteboard, and okay, how many do you need? What's your goal in the year? Okay, this is how many you need a month. This is how many you need a week. This is how many you need a day. So if you just do that every day, you're gonna hit it. When you break it down like that, it's a lot simpler than a lot. You're just shooting at this big number, kind of like, oh well, maybe I'll hit it, maybe I won't. When you break it down like that, it makes a lot more sense. So the goal is the biggest thing, and then taking advantage of your time. It'll be April. Before you know it, you'll be in October. So literally, it goes by so fast. So yeah, take advantage of time, and then you got to work hard, man. Like I can't tell you how many people where it's like, I mean, so many stories of people who like, oh man, I suck at sales. I just work really hard, and that's how I'm good. Like, I can't tell you how many people in our company who are like that. Yeah. It's like, dude, this guy right here is probably the hardest worker of them all. I mean, I
suck at sales.
he might be, I'm sure obviously doing it for long enough, you obviously learn stuff, you get good, but at the end of the day, I mean, when you look at his area, he's got 35 X's. It's like, well, he knocked 60 doors today. I mean, but yeah, working hard, and then kind of touching back what I said, networking. When you're with these people, I remember being with McKeithen the day I knocked with you. How many questions did I ask you? About just stuff.
Most inquisitive student I've had.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'm sitting next to a guy who, obviously has something figured out. I might as well, see what's going on in his head. With him, same thing with Kyle, Sam, whoever it was I was with who I knew, had some kind of idea of what they're doing. Why not ask this guy questions? See, what do you do when you get this amount of money? What are you doing in the off season? Stuff like that. Asking questions to the people who might know a little more than you might be helpful at the end of the day. Because if you want to be in their shoes, it'd be helpful to know those things that they already know. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that humility, just to be able to learn. And those are the two things that we ask. Like, people ask, like, okay, well, would you rather have a guy who's like really qualified, this great resume of like sales experience and stuff, or somebody that's got a chip on their shoulder, someone's got something to prove? Exactly. And I would much rather have a guy that has a chip on his shoulder, he's got something to prove, but he's coachable, like he's humble, he's wanting to learn, and he's just a hard worker. Like, those are the two things that we ask for, and everything else kind of, you just put that by the wayside. Like, I don't care if you have a Harvard degree or if you have a freaking Santa Fe or no degree. Like, I don't care if you graduate high school. Just be a hard worker, be coachable, be willing to learn, and like, we'll show you. We got the tools in the system to be able to show you how to do that. Do you want to get up here and ask some questions or something? Yeah. No, you're good. Do you have any surprise questions that you want to ask? Next pod.
Ask some questions.
I'll sneak in here for like 2 seconds.
All right.
Yes, KT.
Celebrity.
Celebs.
Yes. Special guest.
What was the question?
Oh, I didn't know if you had any questions, anything you want to ask us, or like just what have you been noticing just while I've been sitting over there?
I'm proud of these guys. I've spent the last 7 months with these guys. These three right here, I can't think of a better group of people to not only do work with, but do life with. These guys are the highest of high quality people. And I don't know. I couldn't say enough good things right now about these guys. So, yeah, like these guys are all studs, not only in sales, but like I said, their personalities, like, you know, everything about them. Great. So I don't really have any questions. I'm just going to make a statement. So, yeah.
Have you noticed any? Can I ask you a question about them?
Yeah.
Have you noticed any changes in them since when they first came on to where they are now? Like, how have they grown? How have they changed? And just like, what kind of people have they become in your eyes?
Yeah, aside from developing sales skills and life skills and things like that, I've seen each of them grow in terms of their confidence. Like Blake was talking about earlier, like he was already a pretty confident, pretty outgoing person when I met him, like before sales or anything like that. This transformed him quite a bit, but you realize when you spend that much time with them on the day-to-day how much depth they have. But I don't know, I feel like their depth, the capacity of how like just the type of people they are just expands when you're able to communicate on a high level. So everything about them as people has, I feel like, expanded and improved. Their communication, their depth, we're gonna cut this because I'm like I'm kind of like on a tangent here and it's not making a lot of sense. So.
All right, I got a question for KT here. We always talk about small and simple things and how small and simple things, that's how like the little day-to-day 1% actions, how they add up over time and become exponential. What are some of those things that you were really harping on your guys to do on the doors, off the doors, that were just like the most important you've seen for success?
Most important for success, I would say the off-the-door activities that one does is probably the... Dude, yeah. You gotta...
I'm looking at
I'm looking over there. Jake thinks he starts smiling. I just go.
No. You were talking and Blake's like, I'm like,
That is
these
such
guys.
a lie. I'm looking over here and Jacob starts smiling at me.
All right. It's because you've repeated the question. I know you. He repeated the question. You went.
I did not do that.
Yeah, you did.
Roll the clip.
I wouldn't have started laughing.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip. I look over at Blake. This kid's smiling. I go.
There's a word floating around Dynasty Office that y'all been using for quite some time now, and the word is treated. Okay, and if I had to say, y'all are a pretty treated office.
I'd like
Would
to
you
say that
you like
too,
to say that too? All right. What made Dynasty so treated?
What made Dynasty so true?
Let's start with Blake here. What made Dynasty treated?
The kid.
Oh boy. I mean,
The kid.
well, I think the golf obviously was number one.
Yeah.
No, realistically, all right. I mean, we've all talked about this, but the culture for sure. You know, and you're like, what's culture? What do you mean culture? I mean, it could be a couple things. I mean, what do you do when you wake up? What are you doing before bed? What are you doing on an off day? Stuff like that. It's basically what you're doing off the doors and how the office rolls as a whole and the dynamic of an office. That's basically the culture. And I think there was our culture was just top tier. What we were doing off the doors, us always hitting the gym, what we're doing on off days, what we're doing before the doors. Our culture was definitely really, really good. And that's what allowed us to have a really good year. So I think that's the biggest thing was the culture. So.
Yeah, that's good. I think, more so to touch on what Blake said, definitely the culture in that sense. I think more so like we've touched on, everybody had the same goal, the same aspect of what they wanted. But I think Kyle did a great job of really mending us all together to really work as a whole and really succeed as a whole and all have the same mindset to push us to where we wanted to go. Things you're doing off the doors is getting up, eating good, going, hitting the doors and feeling good. Like when you feel good, you sell good. And I think we really harped on that like all of September and October and more so August. It was literally work, gym, golf, and that was it. That's all we did. And we would go to the gym off the doors to make us feel good, on the doors, waking up at 8 a.m. before we go out in the day. And so when you accomplish something like that earlier in the day, you feel good, you sell good, and you really pertain to the people in front of you. I think that's a big thing that really led majority of us, because we were all doing the same thing every morning. I think consistency and doing the things that you necessarily need to do off the doors to feel good, to sell good on the doors, really kind of sparked up a good office in us and kept us all together, and some really good structure. Like that's the main thing I would say is like when you're kind of looking at Hala and KT is just like the structure that they had all the time. Like you got to be at the meeting, you won't be late, you got to work all day. Like you got to have that structure and those fundamentals of those things to be able to succeed. And I think that's more so the main thing is all the things that play together, what we're doing off the doors, the culture, and how our office was being run by, and the things that our managers were doing to get us to push us to those things, to want to accomplish the amount of money that we made, to therefore being top office. Yeah. That's the main thing I would say.
I think everyone was like super goal driven, and then obviously all of us as an office, we were like, we had such a competitive nature, all of us just as people, but then like we were just like comparing each other to the next person. Honestly, everybody would like just want to be doing as good as the next person, you know. So if that's somebody above you on the leaderboard or someone just doing better than you on the day, you want to, you know, keep up with them. Or if you just, I know he used me and Ashton against each other a lot and pinned us against each other. So we would like really, you know, want to we were just competitive and we wanted to both do really good. So there was not a single day that if he sold, I didn't sell, or if I sold, he didn't sell, because we both, like, if he got a deal, I'm like, I'm going to get a deal. Yeah, and it was vice versa, and that went with everyone in the office, because everybody it was weird. They just all wanted to be the best. Everybody wanted to be very good in that office. So, you know, and then everybody was going crazy. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I think aside from, you know, the organization, the preparation, the fundamentals, and all those things that make an office run, it's kind of easier to do those little things when you have an office full of quality individuals. So like his example of like, you know, like me pinning them against each other to some degree. I mean, you got to kind of understand sometimes what, like, you got to have a knowledge of, like, have a pulse of your office and like know what motivates each individual. Whether that's incentives, whether that's goals, whether that's a boat, whether that's, you know, the hatred for one another even. Sometimes you just got to bring that out of them. And sometimes you just got to, like, play into their motives and play into the things that are going to push them each day, and then just let the momentum carry. And I feel like if I had to link it back to one word, our success this year is just like there was constant momentum throughout the year. And you eliminate the little things that are momentum hindering activities, you know, mindsets. You know, if people are being negative in the office, you try to like stomp that out quickly. And you get into a situation where your people become so quality that they police themselves on those things, where these guys were constantly like stamping out people who are maybe making a negative comment here or saying this or doing that. It's all about progression, and everybody was on the same page. Everybody wanted the same goals. Everybody wanted to be top rookie. So it's kind of easy to manage high quality individuals. So these guys were the highest of quality individuals I've worked with, I think, to this point. So they made my job easy. Some of the best people I've seen in terms of sales and getting it done. So yeah, just highly motivated individuals. So I love these guys more than anything. So probably cut that out.
Let's leave that in there. Stay in
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I mean, when you have such great leaders like KT, like Hollow, like Sam, guys who have been doing it for such a long time, there's just certain things that they do, like you can't even quantify it or qualify it. Like, what exactly is it that they are doing? But they just have that foresight. They'll be able to see in the future what could potentially be a threat, be able to stomp that stuff out before it comes around the corner. Super cool. Very blessed to be able to have such leaders like KT, like Hollow, like Sam. Dynasty's going to do freaking amazing things this year, and just super excited to see all of you guys hit your goals and see what we can grow to become.
I agree.
Yeah.
They can't have said it better.
Anything else you guys want to cover?
I don't think so.
This is the McKeith and Valentine show.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for coming on. You guys are awesome. And yeah.
So are you.
Yeah.
Get out and grind, baby.
Get out and grind. Get it. No one rains the pores.